Hello everyone, welcome to Rainbow Infinity. Today I'll be reading bahatumay's It Can't Be. If you like the reading, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please enjoy. Please! Rarity trudged through the chilly night, her knitted hat pulled down far over her head, a scarf wrapped tightly around her neck as thick snowflakes, the size of bits, fell to the earth. How it managed to get colder every year, she had no idea. But the weather team had certainly outdone themselves this time. Thankfully, her destination was not far. Before long, the welcome silhouette of Carousel Boutique emerged through the dense fog and the falling snow. She found herself trotting faster, eager to get back home. Something about the snow falling and dampening the sounds around her sent a small shiver up her back. Perhaps a vestigial instinct from times past when ponies were a prey species. As she climbed up the front steps, she got her first indication that something had happened while she'd been out. Her own hoof prints had long since been swallowed up by the falling snow, but there were multiple prints in front of the door. None of them hers, and they looked fairly recent. Perhaps Sweetie Belle had hosted an impromptu dance party on the front porch? Or maybe she'd just been enthusiastic about taking opalescence out? She retrieved her key from her saddlebag with her magic, and slid it easily into the lock. With a slight head movement, she opened the door. It was a relief to shut it behind her, as if banishing the cold from her presence in the foreseeable future. She felt warmer inside already. And yet something was missing from this entrance. The boutique was quiet. Too quiet. "Sweetie Belle," she called. There was no response. She lit her horn and pulled off her hat and scarf and saddlebags and hung them delicately on the wooden stand by the door, and deposited the key on the hook. A lady never shook herself dry, though it was tempting for a moment. "Sweetie Belle," she called again, brushing a strand of mane out of her eyes. Only silence answered. She turned on a light. Nothing seemed amiss at first glance, and then a flash of white in the corner of her eye made her jump. Opalescence emerged from the hallway and glared at Rarity, her ears pulled back, as if personally offended that the unicorn had brought back the sun and ruined her nap. After a brief standoff, she huffed, then looked away and padded noiselessly off into the hallway. Rarity chuckled, relieved that it had only been her cat. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong here. She slowly stepped forward, her keen eyes looking for anything out of place. She poked her head into the kitchen. To her relief, it seemed untouched. No smell of smoke hung in the air, which was a pleasant surprise. Her living room was similarly untouched. Her couch was as she'd left it, with the pillows still fully fluffed and perfectly equidistant from each other. But her smile faded as she opened the door into her creative room. This was not how she'd left it. Such a room had to have anything and everything on hoof, readily available for when inspiration could strike. And something had certainly struck here. She stepped inside and looked around, her practiced eye taking in the different fabrics spread everywhere. It was as if a fabric store had exploded, or some pony had decided that she was hiding something valuable in the bottom of her fabric stash, and had pulled out anything and everything to get to it. The bolts were spread across the ground haphazardly, as if flung wildly across the room without rhyme or reason. Or perhaps they had been flung at some pony? Maybe even used as weapons? She saw various colors scattered. There were the regular colors, the ones from her most recent collection. But there were others, too. Some yellow, some blue, some green, all garish neon shades that she hadn't seen in a long time. Scattered across the floor were other implements. Scissors, fabric rulers, chalk, pins and needles, and, most disturbingly, a few large, suspicious dark red spots on the carpet. She swallowed. Perhaps it was ketchup. She could believe that, right? But now she was really worried. Something had happened here, and she needed to figure out what. The shade of red was wrong for ketchup, and she knew it. Her heart racing, she darted towards the staircase and took the steps 2 at a time. Various scenarios flew through her mind, each worse than the previous. With the briefest of moments to compose herself, she pushed her door open. Nothing. Her room was empty and as silent as the grave. She turned her attention towards the next room, the one that Sweetie Belle was currently staying in. Forcing down her fear, she neared and pushed the door open. The takeout boxes by the door paled in relevance to the next thing she saw. Something stirred in the center of the room at her sudden appearance. Something like a pony, but splayed out, with limbs in the wrong order, hind legs where front legs should be. Realizing it was no longer alone, it unfolded and straightened, giving the appearance of a normal pony, when it was clearly anything but. Her eyes widened. Her mouth felt dry. Her heart pounded in her ears. It couldn't be. It slowly pushed itself up with a grunt, turning to face her. That awful thing. That abomination. That horror ponified wearing her sister's face. It just couldn't be. Sweetie Belle waved. "Hi, Rarity," she chirped. Purple scrunchies rested on her fetlocks. A bright neon pink leotard rested snugly on her body, worn over long, painfully bright blue tights. Up to her hocks on both sides were knitted leg warmers, in a bright yellow fabric Rarity had used maybe once. Completing the look, a headband in an eye-blinding shade of neon green rested on her brow. "Check this out. The Crusaders and I are going to bring back 70s workout outfits. What do you think?" Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Until next time, stay tuned.